tonight. We'll do offline. All right, I'm going to get started here. We'll try this button first.
Before we get started, does anyone want to get out?
Yep, that checked out, so we'll do that, and then the intro, and we're good to go.
Before we get started, does anyone want to get out?
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Side Schema podcast about everybody's favorite superhero card game, Marvel Champions. I am one of your hosts, BananaCrapshoot, here with my perfectly balanced co-host, Tommy of Titan. Tommy, how are you?
I am well, Banana. I think you nailed it. First time ever. Probably the last time, but I think you did pretty good there.
Last time,
Dramatic.
first time?
Yeah. Dramatic pause and all.
Yep, Mr. Chip would be proud. So even though, everyone's stuck at home, this is the perfect game for that, I think, to be stuck at home with the current state of affairs. But with us tonight, we have, I think he only plays monthly, because that's what the podcast name would assume. But we have with us KennedyHawk, one of the hosts of Marvel Champions Monthly. KennedyHawk, Mr. Hawk, what should we refer to you as?
You can call me Dan or KennedyHawk, either way.
All right. Well, thanks for being here with us tonight.
Thank you. I'm excited. I'm still in shock. I can't believe you got that all right on the first try.
Yep, I've screwed it up every time so far, I'm pretty sure. And one of our podcasts is even completely unlistenable because it's so choppy. But I'm blaming the coronavirus for that. So, Tommy, do you have any questions or anything you want to talk about before we start grilling our guest?
No, I'm good, man. As long as we don't go back and revisit any of the topics from the choppy episode where Scott tried to humiliate me the entire time, I'm good.
Well, that's the one where you guys met playing Pogs, right? You're like, hey, I got Star Wars Pogs.
Something like that, yeah.
All right, so I guess I'll start it off asking Dan a question. Why do you like this game?
I like this game because I played every Fantasy Flight LCG. And you can find a thread on their forums from like 5 years ago somewhere. You could fact check me later and say this is fake news. But they had a thread at one point by some random dude that was like, what LCG should they make? And for years I've been saying, if you make a Marvel LCG, I will be so obsessed with it, I will play it forever. And they finally did it, so I have to keep up to my word and keep playing it. But I'm a Marvel guy, so I like LCGs. Man. I like Marvel. It's a win for me.
Ultimate IP. Ultimate IP meets my favorite gaming medium, I guess.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I really like competitive games, but cooperative is fine with me. I like Lord of the Rings, I like Arkham, so I figured I'll like this for sure.
Are you big into the comics, or is it like the movies or TV shows? Somebody's dropping baking pans?
Not me. I am big into the comics. I've read the comics for too many years to count. I started reading comics as a really little kid. My uncle got me a bunch of issues, and I've just kept up with it forever. Whether it's sensical or not to do, I still do it. So my son reads comics with me now. He reads Sonic the Hedgehog. He doesn't read any Marvel stuff yet, but someday. I guess he reads Spider-Ham. That's pretty funny.
That's legit. Tommy, you got a question?
Yes. What's your position on villains in the Marvel Universe? Do you have a favorite, least favorite, one that you like, respect, you think is a good villain, maybe not identifiable, but, a nice foil to somebody? Just a villain that stands out.
Okay. I definitely have a least favorite. There was an X-Men run for a while where they introduced, there was always this mystery about who the third brother between Cyclops, Havoc, and some third unnamed person was. and they introduced one, and he was like lost in space or something crazy, and he like hooks up with the space bird people that Xavier's always hanging out with, and it was just horribleness. So I hope he never shows up. Vulcan was his name. It's bad.
Yeah, that was not a good run there.
Could not handle that. My favorite villain. So I have really awkward, like, oddball favorite villains. So my favorite villain there was a Gambit run. I think it was Gambit Volume 2. He had, like, a 4-issue miniseries, and then he had this one where he was working for someone, like, undercover the whole time. This person named the New Sun. And I can't tell you who the New Sun is, but he's a really good foil for Gambit. And it was a very underappreciated series, but it was really, really good. There was time travel. There was everything you'd want in, like, a sci-fi X-Men series, and it was, like, the ultimate bad guy for Gambit is the New Sun. So you can look it up.
The New Sun, I am definitely going to look that up because I am a Gambit fan, as is every person that watched the 90s X-Men cartoon, as well as read comics at that time. So, yeah, I'll look that one up. That one.
It's a 24-issue series, and he's got like a sidekick that is a shapeshifter, and at some point in time he gets stuck in like the opposite gender's body. It's pretty funny.
Oh, wow.
So you'll enjoy it.
Nice.
I
guess let's move into like more game-oriented questions. Do you have a favorite hero and a favorite aspect? Maybe not that goes together, but just a hero that you really like, and then maybe an aspect that you find yourself drawn to.
So my aspect is definitely leadership. Especially when I'm playing solo, I try to play leadership as much as possible. And my favorite hero is Black Panther, so we'll talk about that later. But I was really excited when I got that. That's the hero I play all the time. So I like his combo-iness. I like figuring out how to optimize when you play his upgrades versus when you do other stuff. I think he's pretty fun. And I think he works great with leadership. So I think leadership is one of the strongest aspects because allies do everything, right? They can block, they can attack, they can thwart. So it does all the other three, I almost called them spheres, aspects, but in one package. And I think they're some of the strongest cards. The balance is you only have one of each unique ally, but I think that's a minor setback compared to having such a strong card.
It's minor because of the way you draw cards in this game and the deck size. I think it just like inherently like limits how much of an impact that has on your deck, because you can put an ally like a Vision or whoever in the deck that you're really need or digging for, and you're gonna find them. You're gonna go through your deck. Plus, you have Make the Call, so you don't even have to worry about discarding them.
Yeah, exactly. If you're only drawing one card a turn, like in other games, then only having one of the card in your deck is really limiting. But when you're drawing your whole hand every turn, and I'm the type of player that I just play every card in my hand every turn because I want to see all my cards as fast as possible.
Yeah.
So I see those allies and I get them when I want them.
I have a quick question I want to interject here. What ally do you think is the worst target for Make the Call?
Worst target for Make the Call.
There's only one right answer.
There's only one right answer, huh?
Yep.
Lockjaw. Because you can just play him anyway.
Yep, that's it. All right. I was trying to trick somebody there, but it didn't work.
I thought there was one ally that it says when he is played, or when this ally is played, instead of when this ally enters play, so that you don't get the ability from Make the Call, because it's a put into play thing. I can't remember if that was one of the ones that's been spoiled but hasn't been played or not.
It's probably the Winter Soldier art.
Ugh, yeah.
That's bad. We'll get into that later. What's your favorite scenario in Marvel Champions right now?
I think Claw right now. I think Mutagen Formula Expert's really fun, but it's not fun to teach people. I think Claw is pretty fun to teach people because you show them Rhino and then you show them Claw and they're like, oh, the whole world has changed. He gets 2 cards and you see his whole encounter deck because he's going through things so fast. And I think Ultron can be kind of swingy depending on what cards pop up, but Claw with the right modular set is always difficult, which is good. And he's like the Black Panther villain, so it's just perfect.
Yeah, it is thematic for you.
All right, I guess that's enough for getting to know Mr. Dan KennedyHawk. I guess we'll move into what have we been playing lately. So Tommy, if you want to start off games you've had recently.
I have only played one game over the past 2 weeks or so. Things are a little crazy. I mean, for everybody in the world, but my work has not slowed down yet. I think it's going to slow down this week. So I haven't had a ton of free time. But so we'll talk about the one game that I played a little later.
All right. I also have. Well, I played a couple games, but they all fall into categories of stuff we're going to talk about later. One being the heroic challenge that was put out by FFG that I failed, and then another one. So, Dan, do you have any games you've played recently that aren't the subject?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah, I have things that don't fit into those topics. So our store is closed, but they hosted like a virtual game night through Tabletop Simulator. And it's funny because I've been trying to demo this game to people in store, and people are always like, I don't want to buy a new game, I don't want to buy a new game. But like 12 people from our store tried it on Tabletop Simulator.
Wow.
So because it was all night and people played whatever they wanted to. So our store said they got 3 orders now, so I'm super excited. But we played entry level Claw with all these demo tables. So it was me and one other guy that always plays with me, and we would have 2 people sub in. So we played 6 games of entry level Claw. And we both played Protection. So he played Protection She-Hulk, and I played Protection Spider-Man, and we just never attacked or thwarted. We made everybody else do all the work, and we just defended constantly. It was pretty good. Everybody liked it. We went 3-3, so I feel pretty good. People definitely didn't figure out the whole idea of playing through your whole hand until about halfway through the game, and then they were like, I get to reshuffle my deck, I get to see everything multiple times, and then they started going crazy. So it was pretty good. And I'm stuck at home with the kids during all of this, so my 3-year-old has decided he wants to play. So he wanted to play Spider-Man because that's the only hero he knows. So we played a game where all he did was mash cards on the table and play illegally, but not kill any villains for me. And I had to deal with 2 people's threat and 2 people's card draws, and we lost horribly. But it went well, I guess. He was happy.
That's all that matters, man.
I like losing.
If you don't lose, there's no challenge, right? Come on.
Yep.
They would
It
get
was
old
basically
fast.
heroic mode, but I could at least make him defend for me sometimes if I could con him into it with Skittles. So
That's father skills right there.
But those are my main recent plays. So Protection demos and playing with 3-year-olds.
Well, that's cool, man. Any way to grow your local scene if you get out to the shop to play that's awesome. I don't know if Tommy had to step out or not for a minute. I guess we'll move
I'm here. I'm
okay.
here.
I heard like weird silence, so I thought you dipped. I guess we'll move into Tommy's baby, the draft league that the side scheme is running. That is his orchestration. So if you want to kick us off on that.
Sure. I'm going to have an article probably posting Monday, the same day as this this podcast. But essentially what we wanted to do is we wanted to create a way for maybe like a local community or a store to have like some sort of recurring event that players could get invested in. And that involved a draft similar to like a fantasy football draft, although it was only going to be 2 rounds. 1 round you can select a hero or an aspect, and then the following round you have to select whatever you didn't select the first time already. And you'd create a schedule of games to play against so that everybody knew, hey, the first game I'm playing, or it didn't matter the order you played in, but you have to play these 4 games, these 4 encounters with these modular sets on these difficulties. And originally we were going to do it and have like a pairing system. So like if there was 8 players, you would have like a couple 2-player games, and you knew who you were playing with, and a couple 3-player and a 3-player game, and maybe 1 4-player game, so that you knew who you were going to play with each game, which added another wrinkle to the whole thing. But without going on too long, obviously people aren't really getting together right now. So we decided, why not make this a solo thing where you just get 1 hero, 1 aspect, and you play 4 games solo. We can open it up to people, all around the world. We can just communicate. via Discord and make this happen. So BananaCrapshoot came up with an obnoxious schedule for us, and then we took some volunteers. We got 8 players, and we ran a draft in Discord. There were some trades that happened, and here we are. We all drafted. So, and all 3 of us are in the league. So KennedyHawk was kind enough to jump in, and I believe you've recorded 3 games now, KennedyHawk?
I have recorded 3. 2 are posted. The third one I have to edit and bleep out all my swearing still. So, spoilers.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, that's yeah, the spoilers with the swearing. I just picked up on that. Yeah, I'm going to try to record my second game. I didn't record my first. I know that Banana didn't record his first as well. But it's moving along. We need to get a couple people in. I don't think we're what did we draft last week? Or did we draft the week prior? I can't remember.
We drafted last week, I think it was.
Yeah, so I mean, we're not that far into it at this point. We're less than a week into the season, as we're calling it. But it was an interesting concept. I'm curious to see how it all plays out. I mean, I'm enjoying the idea of it so far. Do you want to go over like who drafted what and everything like that, or at least what we drafted individually?
I mean, we can go through the draft if you want. I don't care.
Let's do it.
I know we all got to kind of look that up probably.
I have it all in front of me.
Oh, you do? I was just gonna say what the gauntlet is that I decided to do.
Yeah, the schedule. Read that out.
Which is probably it's probably a little too hard. But it is expert mutagen formula with the running interference modular set. And then Wrecking Crew with Heroic 1, which we'll go over the new Heroic and Rookie modes in a little bit. And then Expert Claw with the Legions of Hydra modular set at Heroic 1, unless you're Kennedy, and then you make it harder for yourself. And then Expert Ultron Power Drain modular set at Heroic 2. So that one has to be brutal. But that's the games we're playing.
Yeah, so you're a bad person. That's what I heard.
We decided this the day that article went live.
Yeah, the heroic mode article.
So I was just like, boom, we're doing it. Like,
there's really only 2 like conceivably like winnable games there. I mean, I guess the claw game is maybe winnable, but I mean, there's some of the decks that were drafted just can't beat claw. I don't think.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, it's tough because, like, I mean, if you're not getting it's such a weird system. I feel like you honestly just want to draft in like the middle 4 is your best bet.
Yeah, I agree.
In an 8-man draft, I don't think for 1 and 2 and 7 and 8 are usually not good. Although Jack made out like a bandit. So we had 8 players. We have Scott, BananaCrapshoot. And this is the order that we drafted in. So this is first pick through 8th pick. So Scott, BananaCrapshoot, Conspiracy, KennedyHawk at number 4, John Williams at number 5, Inception at number 6, Jack at number 7, and myself in 8th. And these are all people that are in our Discord channel. So with the first pick, Scott selected Captain America. BananaCrapshoot with the second pick selected Captain Marvel. Conspiracy selected Spider-Man, KennedyHawk, Black Panther, and that's no surprise there. I was going to say, why don't you elaborate on that? But I mean, that's just your favorite hero. So, and he's good in like, I would argue he's good with every aspect.
I think so. I actually picked him because he's really good against all of these scenarios. But we'll talk about that later. Okay.
Banana, do you have anything to say about Captain Marvel and the 2-hole?
I just figured. I wanted a pretty much well-rounded set of 15 so that I could handle threat or do damage, and that's why I took her, because I figured whatever aspect I got stuck with, I would have a chance.
Yeah, that makes sense. I also think it's interesting how like a hero plays drastically different in solo as opposed to any multiplayer game, whether it's 2, 3, or 4. Because at number 5, John selected Thor, who I think is a weaker solo hero, just simply because he can't thwart or he's extremely limited with thwarting. I kind of think you just need to run him with Justice, or you need allies that can thwart strong for you. Then you have Inception, who drafted Leadership in the first round, the only player to draft an aspect, which I was thrilled about because then that means I wasn't going to get She-Hulk. And Iron Man falls all the way to 7th, I guess because it's solo and it's harder to get him online. And then me in 8th, I got Ms. Marvel. So then on the way back, we snaked, and my thoughts there was she's not She-Hulk. So that's what I did.
Yep, that's fair.
On the way back, we snake drafted, so 8th will then pick again, and then so 8th will have the 9th pick, and then Jack will have the 10th pick, and we just count back up. So after I picked Miss Marvel, I immediately took Leadership, just thinking that's the naturally strongest aspect, so I didn't want any of my opponents to have it, and I just wanted to take that, even though I think Aggression might have been a better choice in hindsight. And then Jack with Iron Man took Protection. Inception actually traded out of his spot there. He traded back for a future pick in another draft if we ever do this again, with Conspiracy, who jumped all the way down in his spot, which was the number 3 overall pick. So he jumped up in the second round and grabbed Protection. John with Thor took Aggression. KennedyHawk with Black Panther took Aggression, which is a steal at that spot. And then Inception, who swapped with Conspiracy, took She-Hulk, obviously, because he had to take a hero. Banana and Scott both get stuck with Justice, which is Captain Marvel and Captain America. And that rounds out our draft.
Yeah, I think the draft was fun because most people were entering their pick in gifts, so that was pretty entertaining.
Yeah, I love that Inception's when he selected Leadership, he put a GIF of Donald Trump in the Discord, and we just thought he was trolling everybody. We didn't know what was happening, and then he came back like 5 messages later, and he was like, "That's my pick. That's Leadership." We were like, "Okay," but I don't think anybody saw that coming.
Nope, none of us got it.
So if you were to do this again, do you think you would take a hero before an aspect? I almost think I would do the opposite this time. I might take an aspect next time.
I don't know. I don't know how you could say you would change anything. I feel like you or Jack get the highest grade of the entire draft. Yeah, you're perfect. You guys definitely both got an A grade from me. Actually, Inception might even get an A grade because I don't know. I mean, I guess he should have taken Iron Man, but getting another pick is pretty good. So I don't know. I think it depends where you're picking. If you're getting it, because if you take an aspect and no one else does, you're locked in the She-Hulk. Now, if we did this again and Black Widow was out, I think it drastically changes what you do.
Oh yeah, big time.
Also, completely changes Justice as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if I was the number 2 pick again, I would still take a hero again, I think.
Yeah, I was more thinking like maybe this is what Inception did. If he knew he was going to end up with She-Hulk, maybe he picked the aspect he thinks that she'll be strongest with. So he can be like, basically, I'm getting both my picks right away.
Yeah. Well, that, and he also, I mean, so again, I don't want to make this too convoluted, but I thought it was fun and made things somewhat interesting. Is that since he knew he was stuck with She-Hulk and no one else could take it, he traded back so that next season, the contingency is if we do another season, both Conspiracy and Inception are going to try to play in it, and if Conspiracy has a better second round pick than Inception, they will swap. Was what they're doing, and then if he doesn't, then presumably a third season and so on until Inception gets his payment. So
I mean, to cash in, nice.
Yeah, at some point he will cash in and receive 2 good picks. So I thought that was interesting, but again, convoluted.
We allowed it. I mean, it's for fun. What's it matter?
It makes it fun. It doesn't. A lot of people are locked up inside. This is a great game to play solo. Let's have some fun with it. Let's give it some thought. Let's spice it up a little bit since we're not going to get any new encounters for a while. At least we got heroic mode.
Oh yeah. Do you guys want to talk about any of your draft league games we've done so far?
Yeah, sure. I'll start if you want.
Sure.
I played against the mutagen formula with running interference, which I love as a package deal with those two on expert. I started pretty strong. In the leadership decks I've been running, I've been trying to build around the teamwork event, and the goal is to play Wonder Man and get inspired on him, and then cycle through my deck and continuously trigger teamwork. Now, it doesn't work as well with Ms. Marvel because she's not like your basic attacker like some of the other characters are, but she does cycle her deck really well. So I wasn't able to lock him down on the table with an inspired, though I did have him on the table, and I think I pulled about 2 leaderships off with him, or teamworks off with him, not leadership. So I did considerable damage. I knocked Green Goblin into his 3rd stage, but that round I also cycled my deck, so I ate 5 encounter cards, and I think I lost the following round. He attacked me like 3 times that round, and I had some allies for blocks, but I just wasn't able to hang on between that and the threat that was accumulating up. I just couldn't hang.
That's tough.
Yeah.
But did you have fun?
Yeah, I loved it. I like getting beat up in this game. Like I said, I'd rather it be challenging. And I like the fact that the draft forces you to... There's another layer of strategy to it, and it forces you to play something that you might not have played before unless you're KennedyHawk or Jack.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, then we got our favorites. That was nice.
Yeah.
I played 3 games. My first game was against Mutagen Formula. It went pretty well. At the very end, I top decked a card that had a mental resource, so I could get rid of one of those running interference. It was the one that makes you do all your reveals on when revealed effects twice. And I'm really glad I got rid of it, because I think I would have drawn something that triple surged if I didn't do that, or something horrible. So that was good. The second game I did against Wrecking Crew, and I think I went down to 1 health and then back up to 11 health 3 times in the game, because I had to flip quite a bit. I learned that I hate discarding Avengers Mansion and Golden City. It's very frustrating. And I grabbed different Black Panther upgrades in each game. I think that's why I chose him I think he can be pretty versatile. He can grab the right Black Panther upgrade depending on what scenario you're up against. And my third game, I'll tell you the story from, because it worked out. It was going so well. I was playing against Claw on Heroic 2, because I thought it was no Heroic 1, 2, 3. Apparently it was not, so that was great. So I survived till turn 3. I just looked it up. So turn 1, I had 2 Black Panther upgrades in play and Shuri. It was a great setup turn. Turn 2, I got another Black Panther upgrade into play, and Yarnbjorn. And then turn 3, I played Nick Fury and drew a bunch of cards. And I was like, all right, I got 2 allies. I've only seen 1 Wakanda Forever so far, so next turn I'm going to get 4, and this is going to go crazy. So I used Nick Fury, Nick Fury and my basic attack to kill Legions of Hydra guard minions, so I could clear the board and be ready to go. So I got 4 encounter cards, and his basic attack attacked me, and I blocked with Shuri. He flipped Assault, and I blocked with Nick Fury. He flipped a second Assault, and I blocked with myself. And then he flipped another attack, which was the Claw attacks you and puts threat on the scheme. He succeeds. And he flipped a 3 boost icon card to hit me for 7 when I couldn't defend with anything. And I was like, well, that game is horribly over. Everything was going great. I was like, oh my gosh, this is the perfect game. And then it was not, because of Heroic 2, see. But I don't think the 2 would have mattered, because there was still 1 card that I didn't even flip. I don't even know what it was. I was too mad to flip it, so...
Jeez. I mean, the prior rounds, you wouldn't have had to flip as many cards, so...
That's true. I wouldn't have been as low in health, because I wouldn't have gotten double whammied as much. I didn't think of that. But yeah, it was brutal. So now I know, only Heroic 2 for Ultron. This is good, because I was going to record that one tonight at Heroic 3, which would have been really bad.
If anybody beats that, I mean, we might as well just crown them the winner as soon as we hear it
Yeah,
happens.
I'm ready to crown KennedyHawk the winner right now. And some people haven't even played a game yet.
Yeah.
I think I can do it. I think if I use energy daggers to get rid of all those little drones and because he's going to start in phase 2.
Yeah,
I think that's what I love energy daggers against Ultron. It's just so good.
you're better equipped than most to take that out, especially with things like Mean Swing and like obviously the daggers, like you said. But when the drones go to 2 health and have the super guard where Ultron just can't be damaged, period. That's when it gets a little hairy.
Yeah, you got to waste 1 Wakanda forever just using energy daggers last to hit everything for 2, and then you can hit Claw on the second one.
Mm-hmm.
So I do some weird things in my deck. I include like 3 honorary Avengers just to thin my deck for Black Panther because I want to see Wakanda forever as much as possible.
Oh, I
my
love
second
that.
deck back. So
Love that.
lots of cheap upgrades that don't do anything for me, but just get out of my deck.
They give you +1 health though, right?
Yeah, +1 health's not bad, right? It's like
It's a 0 cost, and it gets out of your deck. I mean, that's good enough. Get back to the Wakanda Forevers and the Mean Swings.
That's all I want, over and over again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, are you you're gonna replay with Heroic 1, right?
No, I think I already submitted my results. They are what they are. I'm moving on.
Being since I know the commissioner, I'll put a good word in for you. You can replay it if you want. Not that you need the help, but I'm just saying. I know a guy.
I'll see if I lose up to Ultron first. If I lose to Ultron, maybe I'll replay Claw.
See, but if you beat Ultron, wouldn't you want that perfect record too?
Yeah, it's gonna be tempting. Maybe I'll play it and I'll just post it and say this is what I was supposed to play.
Whatever you want. I'm just saying we'll give you the pass. It's not like you did anything wrong. Solar League.
All right.
Oh, and we should say too the prize for this whole thing is since it's such a casual game, we're keeping it real casual here too. You just get a special color for your name in the Discord so that you can just talk smack and everybody can know that you're better than them.
I thought it was just the smack talk. I didn't know I got a special color.
Well, you get a
Now
special
I really
color.
care. Oh
You
my
get a
gosh.
special color, and you get invited to co-host the podcast. So
That's right.
for an
Yeah,
episode.
well, you already got
So
half that. We just
I've
kind
never
of
done
are
that
assuming.
before.
Yeah.
There's a second time for everything.
Okay.
I'll try anything twice.
Yep. I played one game. I finished it like an hour ago. I did it just so I had something to we could talk about it, and I could just sit here listening. So I had Captain Marvel Justice, which I knew I was probably going to get stuck with Justice. So Captain Marvel's not terrible with Justice, obviously. So that game went all right. I pulled out the W. I felt pretty in control most of the game. Dealing with the minions was a pain. I had to overkill thralls with the photon blasts. But I got an energy channel off to finish off stage 2, and then I was able to survive through the 4 encounter cards that I had to deal with after you went to stage 3, and then I was able to get 3 allies in play and another energy channel, and was able to finish off phase 3 2 rounds later. I didn't do it the round I flipped him. I had played whatever that Justice card, Concussive Blow, to confuse him. So I flipped so I could draw big and then flip and go ham. So there was one round in between him going to phase 3 and dying. But I had fun. I'm ready to lose the rest of my games now.
I mean, Wrecking Crew, dude, you could win it, and then you could be right up there with the great KennedyHawk.
Yeah.
That's winnable.
Did you bring those haymakers?
No, I didn't have the haymakers.
Oh, painful.
Yeah,
That's
I
why you had to overkill. Now I get it. Okay.
Yeah. Yep. If I don't know. I had first aids, but I didn't play him this game. I don't know. I don't know if I'll change my deck or I'll just use the deck as built for everything. But Followed came in pretty cool, or pretty big, because obviously, I ended the game with 4 schemes in play. So Followed to take out to deal damage off removing those schemes was pretty nice.
It's interesting that Justice fell to the last 2 picks because a lot of people consider Justice like one of the mandatory aspects for solo. Like,
Yeah.
you always can give yourself enough time to win. But here, like, I think people wanted the deck build more, so they said, I don't want Justice. There's no new cards for Justice yet.
I think it's good for solo for sure because it just gives you the time you need to deal the damage. Like I thought for sure John with Thor was going to take Justice instead of Aggression, but at the same time I get like, man, you really don't want Aggression to fall like all the way up to the people that had pick 1 and 2 when you got Cap and Captain Marvel up there. Like I don't know, but I get it. I think Justice is probably good solo.
See, I'm dirty, and that's actually why I took Aggression. I was thinking Justice for a while, because I said I can just rely on my Black Panther upgrades for damage, and I'll just stall the games out. But then I saw they had Captain Marvel and Captain America, and I said, no, they need Justice, because maybe they won't have enough damage, and they'll be sad about it. But
yeah.
I think Captain America maybe might struggle a little more. Cause
he's going
to
really rely on his readying.
Yeah, and his biggest event deal 6. So,
yeah, but he's going to get the stuns and concussive blows to buy him some time too.
Oh yeah, it's almost cheesing. It's almost as bad as Captain America protection in solo, where you can just because you have 7 cards in your deck that stun.
Yeah, as long as protection doesn't fall to Captain America, it's okay.
Yeah, I think Heroic kind of fixes that because they'll get so many extra attack cards. Hopefully.
Yeah, that's true. That kind of does make it tougher. I mean, it definitely makes it tougher, but it might actually overrun them.
Yeah. Any other thoughts you guys have on the draft league?
People should try it. It's really fun.
Yeah, I think at this point, assuming everybody starts to get games in, like I said, we're so early in how long this has been going on. I know I'm going to try to get at least 2 games in probably this week. If not all 3. And if we start to see other people get their games in, I mean, I'm all for running this again. You mentioned Banana maybe doing like a 2-handed variant at some point. I don't know the logistics of how the draft would work on that, but
I have an idea on that if you want to talk about it.
Okay. So we can talk about that later, but I mean, we don't need to kill time here, but it's I mean, I definitely would be interested in doing this again. I think it's fun. I'm glad KennedyHawk that you're enjoying it. I've gotten some good feedback from other people. People bought in, people trading and stuff. So people seem to be enjoying it and get excited.
All right. Sounds good. I need to go into streamer mode, apparently. There we go. Guess we'll move into the Black Widow was fully leaked because people like selling stuff early. So we have access to all the cards that comes with Black Widow. So if you guys don't mind, I don't think we'll go through all the cards. You can find them hallofheroeslcg.com is where I usually go to look up cards. We'll just highlight a few of her cards in her kit, and then some of the cards like the aspect cards. So Kennedy, is there a Black Widow card that comes in her hero deck, that a card or two that you'd like to highlight?
I think we'll talk about Grappling Hook. That was in her original article. So it basically copies her. I can read it. It's 2-cost upgrade, blue resource, whatever that's called. It's a preparation tech, so Iron Man can throw it back into her hand. It's a hero interrupt. When you reveal a treachery card, discard Grappling Hook to cancel that treachery card's effects and discard it. Don't even reveal a new card. Pretty sweet. The cool thing about that, it's 2 of. So it's card 11 and 12 in her deck. So you're going to get 2 Grappling Hooks to play with, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's pretty insane.
You got one, Tommy?
Yeah, I'll take Acrobatics. It's a 1-cost upgrade. Again, it's an attack preparation skill. Hero interrupt, attack. When a boost card is turned face up, discard Acrobatics. Cancel the boost icons on that card. Deal 1 damage to the villain for each boost icon canceled this way. This is a familiar card. It doesn't have the same drawback as the... Well, two things I don't think it has. 2 drawbacks that Preemptive Strike had that I don't think this suffers from is, 1, it's not an event, so it doesn't have to be in your hand. You can, put it on the table because it is a preparation card, and trigger it when you see the boost icons that you want to block to get maximum value for it. And the second part that is good about it is that it's not a defense, so you actually don't have to be the target of the attack for you to make value of it.
I think that
And
all
is a
makes
physical
sense.
resource.
That all makes sense.
I mean, it's a 6 damage swing for 1 resource and the card itself. So
I almost wish there were 2 of them instead of the grappling hook, because I want more ways to deal damage with Black Widow. But still a really, really good card.
I kind of like, from a thematic point of view, that she's very I like all the preparations and how she's got tricks and sort of like a Batman-esque feel. But I like that she doesn't have like big chunks of damage like the heroic strikes or the hammer throws or anything. That she's kind of like a dink and dunk, ping 'em kind of style. I think that suits her.
Right?
Yeah, I love it. It's perfect.
The card I want to talk about is Winter Soldier. For multiple reasons. We won't get to the god-awful art quite yet. But 4-cost ally, Avenger Spy. Traits 4 health, 2 thwart, and 2 attack each with a consequential damage. He has the ability that you can reduce the cost to play him by 1 for each preparation card you control. So was there 5 preparation cards, like actual cards in her deck, or 6? 5 or 6, right?
1, 2, 3.
I think it's 5.
4.
Because she has 2 Widow's Bites.
Yeah, there's 2 bites.
Oh, she does have 2 bites. Yep, then it's 5.
So there's 5 in her 15. So there's a pretty good chance you can play him for like 2. I don't think is out of the question, especially because like a bunch of the cards, like the Justice cards, there's preparations. So I think like realistically you'd pay like 2 or 3 for him most times. So that's really good value at that cost for those stats. But I can't believe they picked this art. I mean, when I saw the picture from Instagram or whatever, I couldn't believe it was real. It almost looks like somebody was blindfolded and somebody was describing what Winter Soldier looks like, and they had to paint it. It's just bad. Like, of all the art,
it's not even ripped from a comic book. Like, they paid someone to make this, right? I mean,
yeah. And apparently
he
that
has other
guy's
good art. People have looked him up.
Yeah, it's just like I feel bad because this is just like I don't know if this guy obviously has never seen someone hold a gun before because I don't understand what his right arm is doing.
Not helping.
No, I think he punched himself with his right arm, and that's why his mouth is open. I just don't understand.
Yeah, I'm not a big art person, so it didn't bother me initially. But I have a lot of games with bad art. Like there's that legendary Firefly game where they didn't get the likenesses of the actors, so they had to draw like the actors but make them uggos or something. And it's just like a bunch of blobby characters that kind of look like famous people but aren't. And it feels a lot like that. It's just like so out of place compared to the rest of the art in this game.
But I mean, the same dude drew the synth suit art, and that looks fine.
There's no faces in it though.
Yeah,
or hands,
or arms, or guns. But it's like they have access to the Marvel panels, like the whole library, don't they? So like Covert Ops is straight off a panel. Dance of Death is off a panel somewhere. So it's like, why is that the art you picked? I just don't understand. Because a lot of art in this game is really good. Some of it is questionable. This is just like if there is a card that I proxied, it's going to be this one, and this is going to be the one I get my kids to tear up and use as a coaster. All right, that's all I got to say. You guys want to touch any of the Justice cards that come with her?
Yes, there's a really good ally, Quake. Not a big fan of her in the show, but she's a super, super good ally. 2 cost, 1 thwart, 2 attack, which Justice really needs. We need more damage in Justice, right? And her ability is just rocking. So response after a minion schemes, exhaust Quake to deal 2 damage to that minion. So a lot of Justice characters can't handle a bunch of minions swarming them. What they can handle is a ton of threat. So you can flip to Alter Ego more safely and let Quake take care of all the Ultron drones for you, and that's just awesome.
Yeah, she's almost
She's
like
good.
Hawkeye. Like a
She's
Justice
bananas
Hawkeye.
good damage.
Yeah.
And at 2 cost, which is, there's not a ton of 2 cost allies in the game.
Yeah, Maria Hill, Squirrel Girl, they're really good because they're 2 cost. I think she's going to be the same.
Yeah, I think she's really, really good. Very, very good. Tommy, you got a Justice card you want to hit?
That was the one that stood out to me the most.
Yeah, me too. That and South Strike was the other one.
Yeah, Stealth Strike's okay. I mean, you're 4 damage, 2 threat. That's good. You got to kill it though.
Yeah, that's the only drawback on that.
I mean, I like the espionage preparation basic card. Can I talk about that?
Oh, of course.
It's 1 cost upgrade, basic espionage preparation skill. You can only play it if you control a spy character. So, I mean, technically an ally that has the spy trait would allow you to play this as well. And it's interrupt when the surge keyword on an encounter card would be resolved. Discard espionage and draw 2 cards.
So it still resolves the surge, right? But you get the cards.
Yep. Yeah, it'll still resolve the surge. It's just going to soup your following turn up a little bit.
Yeah, I saw a lot of people talk about using Agent Coulson, who can basically find a preparation in your deck and put it into your hand with counterintelligence. But I think he's going to be great with this because he's got the spy trait. He can go in any hero's deck, and he can just fish out an espionage for you. And it's only a cost 1, so you can basically put it into play right.
Yep, I think that's super strong.
For sure.
Back on Stealth Strike, I think that's going to be a really good card with Miss Marvel. I just realized it's an attack, so she can deal 6 to an enemy if that enemy is defeated, remove 2 threat when she uses Embiggen. So that'll be cool. You can't add Shrink to the threat removal because it's not a thwart event; it's an attack event. But still, 6 will kill most things, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you're playing something that has like Masters of Evil or like more elite style minions, then for sure that is going to help.
There's only a few minions with more than 6 health, right? There's like the monster has 7, right?
Well, you hit almost all the Nemesis minions, I guess, at 6, except for who's the big ones. Is there anybody with a 7?
There's that robot. He's not a Nemesis minion.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of health. MODOK, and there's what is it? Radioactive
Tombstone.
Man.
Yeah.
Tombstone, yeah.
So there's a handful that you can't hit for 6, but I mean, still, you're on your way.
And it's any enemy, so this works if you like defeat a villain stage, I think, or if you defeat one of the Wrecking Crew, you can remove threats. That's cool.
Oh, that is cool.
Yeah. I like rapid response because leadership wasn't good enough, right?
Definitely not.
So that
I
one,
like 2-cost Falcons.
So this one, hero response after an ally you control is defeated. Discard rapid response, put that ally into play from your discard pile, and deal 1 damage to it.
I'm going to be honest, I don't know if that even makes the cut for me.
I mean, you can rapid response Nick Fury. Use him to chump block and draw 3 more cards.
Is Nick Fury put into play, or when you play from hand? I don't remember.
I think it's just when he enters play, right?
I'm checking right now. I think this is where that conversation came up that I wasn't sure on the answer on. So characters like Spider-Woman say after Spider-Woman enters play. Trying to find one that's not. I may have just made that up and scared you all for no reason. Shuri is when she enters play. Mockingbird is after they enter play. Nick Fury after he enters play.
After enters play, yep.
Yeah, so I think it'll work. I don't know if Nick Fury will get discarded right away at the end of the round.
Well, no, you would have to use them. You would have to use in the chump block. Use that, draw 3 more cards, and then the new copy of Nick Fury would still get discarded at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's. I mean, you're getting more cards in your hand. Like we talked about espionage being good for that reason, and this is easier to trigger. It's a 2 cost, so it's a little more demanding on your initial resources. I mean, really, it's a sideways move because you're spending 3 to then draw 3 because it's 2 and then the card itself being played. If you're looking at it from the Nick Fury point of view.
It works best with expensive allies, right? Getting another use out of Falcon because he has an enters play ability, recharging all those arrows on Hawkeye. Yeah. You can't play it on other aspects with Make the Call because it's after an ally you control is defeated, so you can see abilities. But then it says put it into play from your discard pile and it never enters yours, so it's a bummer kind of.
And it comes in with the damage too, so that's got to be taken into account.
Yeah. I think it'll be good with like Squirrel Girl, Maria Hill, because you draw a card after you bring it back into play too, so that's pretty good.
I think Hawkeye is my favorite so far of the ones we came up with. And you know it's really good with Lockjaw.
Everything's good with Lockjaw, man. I'm all in on Lockjaw. He just killed Green Goblin. You guys want to hit anything in the Nemesis set? It's Taskmaster.
Taskmaster's insane. I'd rather almost have him on the table. He scares me.
It's finally a boost that can really kill you.
Yeah, I'd rather him hit the table and then you kill him. And then that way you don't have to worry about that boost coming up.
I think he's a character you just stun the rest of the game and never have to worry about him.
That's probably safer, yes. Or he's like, as soon as the villain deck cycles, you kill him.
But yeah, imagine you cycle your deck and you get him and then gang up as your second card. You're just like, well, GG's.
Yeah, that's brutal. I kind of like that it adds that layer of like, if X, then Y. Like, if X happens, then you are like, there's chances you lose. If you get that super combo, where like you can hit that gang up and Taskmaster in tandem and just lose, or get a hero KO'd.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I am trying to find something. I guess that wraps it up for Black Widow from me. I don't know if you guys have anything else you want to touch on quick.
She looks
before we
sweet.
move on.
We'll see her.
Yeah, she looks awesome.
Midsummer, hopefully.
I think she looks really strong. I did like a preview article that's up on our website. You can check out if you're interested. Do you guys think though she might suffer from the Thor syndrome, where she's really good in multiplayer games and game scenarios with minions, but will struggle if there's not a lot of minions?
No, I think she'll be fine. I think she's more well-rounded than Thor.
I agree.
Yeah, she's just got Widow's Bite that hits minions, right? Everything else in her hero deck is anything. I think if anything, she'll suffer from like preparations coming out really slow because her whole kit really revolves around them. She gets 5, but 5 doesn't make your whole deck.
No, you really gotta. It's like if you want to do the preparation game, you almost have to play her with Justice until more cards enter the pool that have preparation.
Yeah, I'm really glad they have the neutral ones. I didn't expect that, and when this got leaked and I saw there were neutral preparations, I was really happy because that's going to open it up for her at least.
Yeah. I think we will move on to the we got a new article this week. It was on the 23rd of March called Heroic Mode. FFG introduced 2 more game modes for us to play, along with an updated RRG. So the new modes are Heroic and Rookie Mode. I'll talk about what Rookie Mode is, and then Tommy, if you want to talk about Heroic Mode afterwards. Rookie Mode is you're playing standard. It's a way for to get even more casual. So you play standard, and you only play against the first stage of the villain. So once you defeat the first stage, you win. Game's over. Heroic mode is a little different, so I'll let Tommy talk about that one.
Heroic mode is just that when you you set the heroic mode at heroics 1 through, I guess, infinity or whatever, or if you're KennedyHawk, just always 2. But what happens is when you would reveal encounter cards, you reveal 1 additional encounter card per player for each level of heroic you have. So heroic 2 would be 2 additional encounter cards. Heroic 3, 3 additional encounter cards. So you're going to get your 1, and then you're going to get however many more based on the heroic level you're playing at. And I believe that also, did they specify in the article? I can't remember. Heroic would also dictate that you're playing on expert mode.
Yeah, they said it's expert with additional encounter cards.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So that's heroic mode, and I like it. I like that it's a little more scalable, and you can tune it accordingly. I kind of like that it's not, too in depth or too like mechanically involved. I like that it's simple. Just start revealing more cards. The encounter cards are typically the things that you fear the most. So let's get some more of them. It's that variable, that uncontrolled, that unseen element.
Yeah, I like it. Anything that there's some people in the community you see on Facebook or Discord that think the game's too easy. So this is a way for them to increase the difficulty, so they can have that challenge that they were looking for. Otherwise, Dan, do you have any thoughts on the heroic mode or rookie mode additions to the game?
So rookie mode, great for demoing. I've seen some people do rookie mode with just the level 3 villain instead of the level 1 villain. Makes it a little bit harder. Heroic mode I like, and I also dislike. So I came from Lord of the Rings and Arkham, and there they had these either Return to boxes or Nightmare decks that sort of upgrade each villain scenario to make it drastically harder. And they're very elegant solutions. I mean, they require you to buy more product and mix more cards into your mix, but they very thematically and strategically increase the difficulty. Where I've played quite a bit of heroic mode this week since this got announced to prepare for this, and I've been either very unimpressed with its difficulty or impressed, depending on how the random number generator deals me cards. Sometimes, I'll just surge through like 17 cards because I get a bunch of things that are for hero only when I'm in alter ego mode. And when you're revealing 4 cards, if 2 of them surge and then only 1 of them surges, all of a sudden you've gone through 9 cards. And sometimes you'll have things happen where it's just an almost completely unwinnable situation. So I don't like when the randomness makes it unwinnable. I like when it makes it challenging. And I feel like Heroic 1 is pretty winnable sometimes, most of the time I would say. Heroic 2, you're getting through to so many cards that it's you almost play it until you get the right heroic cards flipped in those first couple turns to allow you breathing room to set up. And I don't like that necessarily. So I'm down on it. I'm happy that they gave us something to do during this product break, but I wish it was something that was less random, if that makes sense.
Do you think if they just made, all right, here's heroic mode, and it's just basically what heroic 1 is, do you think you would have been okay with that?
Probably something like that. I mean, I like the idea of them making an extra modular set for each villain that they release as a big pack at the end of like each year. So like at the end of 2020, we get this pack that upgrades all the villains. It's a bunch of cards that surge that are themed around Rhino, around Claw, around Ultron, and you mix them in for like an extra expert mode. But that requires more design time for them, right? This doesn't require necessarily design time. It's just within the mechanics of the game. But I feel like it's a little too random for my taste. So I've run a couple. I tried the Heroic 3 challenge. I'll let you talk about your game first. Mine did not go well. I'm assuming yours didn't. And maybe when the card pool opens up, it'll be possible. But right now, Heroic 3 is just bananas.
Yeah, so we can jump into that. I did that challenge. I did Captain America Leadership and Thor Aggression. And if you don't know what this challenge is, it's in their article. And it is Claw on Heroic 3 with the Doomsday Chair modular set. So my thought was, Captain America with leadership, right? Strongest, probably overall hero with the strongest aspect. And then the idea was that he would handle the thwart and the threat, and then Thor would just like deal all the damage I could put out. And because he can hammer throw to one-shot MODOK. If there's weapons runners and stuff coming into play, I can lightning strike. That was my thought. Thor just dealing damage, one-shotting MODOK, and just dealing all kinds of damage, and then Cap doing everything else on top of dealing damage. And I never had time to stabilize or to set up a board. I went through the encounter deck in 2 rounds. Had an acceleration token. I think I lived through 4. I went through 4 rounds before I finally schemed out. But it was so bad. Like, my game state when I ended, I had 6 schemes in play. I had a Shadows of the Past, so it was Captain America's. So I had Zemo out with a biomechanical suit or whatever it's called that basically when you defeat them, you discard that and they have their full health. So Zemo wasn't leaving play, and when Zemo is in play, Captain America can't thwart, and Thor can't thwart to save his life. So yeah, I got wrecked. I got bent over a rail by that challenge.
Yeah, I tried it solo, and then I tried it 2-player, and now we've scaled back, and we're doing 2-player Heroic 1, and we're going to wait until we beat that consistently, and then do Heroic 2 and 3. But on our 2-player Heroic 3 game, it was just insanity. In that first round, I think he played... One of the 3 cards we flipped was MODOK, so we canceled it with Black Widow, and we revealed Doomsday Chair, so it brought him right back. We revealed another Doomsday Chair, and I think we had like 4 schemes with acceleration tokens out there at the end of round 1. So we were like, all right, we lost this one. Let's try it again. And it did not go well. One of the things this is the randomness thing that I was talking about. We had 4 cards, and I think we flipped like 3 minions. The last one was MODOK in one of our games, and then our 4th card was Gang Up. So if I had flipped those, because I get to pick the order I flipped them in a different order, it would have completely changed my game. And that's something that's just like completely out of the control of the designers and out of the players. So I don't know if I like that. I haven't figured that out yet.
Yeah, so you understand that. I mean, it was so brutal. Like, I recorded it. I streamed it on Twitch. I put the video up on YouTube on the Side Schemes YouTube channel. And it's just like, I got like so flustered because it like got out of hand so quickly that like I was forgetting extra encounter cards off Side Schemes in play and acceleration tokens. So I was just like, this is just brutal. Like it knocked me out of like a straight state of mind to like think about what was going on. I was just like so dumbfounded by what was happening.
Yeah, we scaled back to Heroic 1, and we played 3 games. And our 3rd game, we flipped Claw to his 2nd form and got him reasonably low. And then we had some turn where we both decked out, and I think we had 2 hazard symbols out, and we drew like 12 encounter cards between the 2 of us, and all of them were attacks. So Claw went through his deck like twice in 1 turn, and it was just over.
That's ridiculous. You gonna try, Tommy?
Oh yeah, I'll be trying it at some point. Like I said, it's just been a little hectic here, but absolutely.
We're going to try 2-player every Tuesday until we beat it, so it might take until they release Doctor Strange, but we're going to do it.
Oh my gosh, KennedyHawk, do we just become best friends? Are you excited for Doctor Strange?
Oh yeah, I can't wait. I'm hyped.
I can't wait. Oh my gosh. Man crush.
What do you think about the Hulk?
I am we haven't recorded our episode about the Hulk yet, so spoilers, but I'm unimpressed with the Hulk. I think he's going to be a strong character. That's cool. I don't think he's super thematic, and I'm disappointed. I thought he was going to be like Thor kind of broke the mold by like not really having an alter ego, and then I thought Hulk was going to be like the ultimate character to be like oozing with theme. And I think I saw it on your Discord. I think Scotty said it looks like the design of Hulk was based around someone who had played a lot of video game Hulk characters, but hadn't read like the Hulk books to understand how Bruce and Hulk are really one person that are the same person. And to me, that was very disappointing. Now, we don't know all his cards, so maybe there's like 4 whiz-bang cards that are going to change my opinion, but I'm not convinced yet.
Man, Tommy, we picked the right guest to have on because so far everyone's agreed with us.
Yep, that's exactly, you are echoing thoughts. A missed opportunity, if I had to sum it up into one phrase.
Yeah, I'm excited that the Hulk will be a playable character. I think that'll be great. It'll round out the Avengers. I think that his drawback isn't huge, just discarding your hand, and that's because I always just play all the cards in my hand anyway, so it doesn't really do anything to me.
Yep.
And I think that, I don't know, some of the things just didn't make a ton of sense for me. So I'm curious to see where they go with it. I think it's really cool that he can just burst out a gazillion damage at once. I don't agree with Hulk having 0 thwart. Everybody thinks that's super thematic. I think that I don't really understand necessarily what thwarting is, right? If thwarting is you outsmarting your villains, then Spider-Man should have a lot of thwart, but he doesn't. So, yeah, you can say Hulk has a lot of attack because he punches people, but you know what would stop Rhino from breaking into a building? If you throw a helicopter at him, and that's what Hulk would do, right? So he should have some way of doing threat control.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
They could represent that in a card, though, in some way still.
Hopefully. I'm holding out. I'm holding out hope, but
one last thing I want to jump into. I didn't have this on like our notes. Do you got a couple minutes for us yet, Dan?
Yeah.
I want to.
Kids are in bed. We're good.
All right. One thing I want to touch on. I just thought of it is. So like now, right? We got the coronavirus, right? Everybody's stuck at home. Releases are delayed, right? We're not getting Black Widow unless your store got it early and broke street date. FFG isn't shipping anything new, or Asmodee isn't shipping anything new this month. So, some people that play the game out, like I only play like 2 or 3 times a week, maybe. So everything is still pretty fresh for me. I'm not burnt out, but people getting burnt out might start to look into custom content. And you're one of the biggest people I know when it comes to the custom content scene. So if there's people interested in looking up custom content, like fan-made heroes, events, and counter cards, do you have any like good starting points for them or places to look for that kind of stuff?
A couple things that I'll plug. So hallofheroes.com has a cool page on how to spice up Marvel Champions, and they have a bunch of custom content on there. So there's some like custom-made challenge modes that myself and a few people made that theme around one villain. So like the example one is Horns of the Rhino. That's the first arc Rhino was in. And it doesn't add any cards to Rhino's deck. It just adds an environment card that manipulates Rhino's deck to emphasize his charge and horn cards, because it's Horns of the Rhino. So it's one card, you just print it off and put it in play at the beginning of the game. He also has a bunch of custom heroes and villains that people have tested on there. There's a Discord for it, so if you go to the Facebook group on Sunday, a bunch of people post their content on Sunday, and you can get in the thread and ask for where the Discord is to join and see what people are doing. When there was the first big content gap between the core set and what we thought was going to be Green Goblin and Captain America and all those guys showing up in February, a team of us made a custom Namor scenario where he tried to sink the FF boat, and we needed enough people to beat it to get our expansions on time. And it must have happened because we got our expansions on time, right? So I definitely recommend that. That one's on the Hall of Heroes website. I have playtest data from over 80 people on that one, so we had tons of people playtest it, so it's fairly well tweaked to the point that it'll challenge you to the level of Claw Ultron, but not to the impossible level of some of the untested stuff. So definitely check it out. You can see everything on hallofheroes.com. So I'm not associated with them, but they're a great resource, so check there.
Yeah, that Namor, like the rules insert you have with that, made me laugh when I read it.
There were some puns. Yeah. Yeah,
it's pretty good, and it's like it seems pretty legit for the way FFG does business. And like it's on the boat.
The same team that did that is working on packs to release for every month that we have a content gap. So we were planning on between Hulk and the campaign box, which seems like it's delayed, but now we might have to move one of our projects forward. So we've got a team of like 20 playtesters playtesting the next big custom one that's been team built by like 5 or 6 people. So hopefully it's Namor quality for everybody.
I hope so too. Do you have any, besides like your own stuff, any of the heroes that other people have made that you like that you think would be good for people to play?
There's a lot of X-Men heroes on there. I think that they're really fun. I think that I've avoided playing a lot of the custom heroes. Generally, I play the villains, and I try to play against them with the FFG printed cards, because then I know whether or not they're insano or not. There's a couple of really good X-Men ones by a guy, PH. I have to find his name here somewhere. Well, I'll find it and send it to you later. There's a guy that has made like a ton of X-Men heroes. He's basically remade the entire core set with X-Men, but with different abilities. So there's a Cyclops, he's got a Storm, he's got a Wolverine, and they're really fun to play. He made a couple aspect cards, so there's X-Men allies that Professor X and Cyclops can recruit because they're like leadership bros. And those are really fun. So I definitely recommend checking those out. There's also been a couple of people that made some really obscure villains. Those are fun. There's a person that did Big Wheel, which is some like one-issue Spider-Man villain from back in the day. And their concept was, I want to pick a villain that they're never going to make into a card, so I'm going to pick this person. And it's pretty funny to see characters like that. So I would recommend just joining that Discord and asking people like what needs testing, and they tweak them weekly. That's the hard thing, right? Namor is not going to be changed again because we put a deadline in and we said we're not changing them after this day. It's like we're FFG. We're going to go print 30,000 packs on December 1st. So we're in the middle of setting our second deadline. We haven't set the deadline yet, but that one you can print and just sleeve in front of whatever you don't like to play, Rhino, and you'll have them forever.
Now, do people, when they post the custom content, like the Hall of Heroes LCG.com, I see like it's just all the cards from that website. How easy is it to print, cut, and sleeve them, or is trying to find like the PDF easier?
Yeah, so with mine, I make a PDF that has them all sized to the same card size as a Marvel Champions card, so I can just print them all, use a straight edge cutter, and cut 20 sheets at once, and then just sleeve them all in front of an old set. It's really easy to do in Word or PowerPoint. All the images are sized to the right size, so if you copy them into PowerPoint and print without scaling, it'll print to the perfect size. But some people, and a lot of the ones on Hall of Heroes, have a link to a print sheet where it'll just have all of them in one PDF for you, so you don't have to mess with all of that.
That's cool. And I will, I'll have a link to I think it's called the Homebrew Discord. I'll have an invite link to that in the show notes for this, so that people that are interested in maybe trying out some custom scenarios or custom heroes while we have this delay here until at least Q4 at the earliest, probably, right, for the scenario box. And like we don't know when they're actually gonna ship Black Widow, so and it pushes everything back. So
yeah, it could be anywhere in there.
Yeah, so we don't know when we're gonna be getting new stuff at the moment. So I imagine more people will be looking into custom stuff just to keep the game fresh for them. That was another reason why I was glad the Rookie and Heroic modes came out, because it's just something to freshen up the play experience. And like you said, with Rookie being a good demo. I think the demo. Tommy, do you have any thoughts on any of the custom stuff we're talking about?
I haven't dove into the custom stuff yet, but I did want to say that I think that they with the product drought and everything, I think that they are releasing new game modes like the Rookie Heroic stuff for across multiple games. Like I know L5R has some new skirmish mode or something. There's been a couple different game modes that got released like right within the past week or so. So it's got a couple things coming out from FFG. So they might be trying to tackle this product shortage with that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
I hope we get a new achievements sheet. That'd be cool.
Yeah, because that has all the base heroes, right? It doesn't have anything after the core set.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. I think that will pretty much does it for us here today. Kennedy, I'll give you, or Dan, I'll give you a few seconds, minutes, whatever you need. Say whatever you want to say, plug whatever you want to plug, and we'll start to wind this thing down.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me on. Thanks for having me in the draft. It's been super fun. So, like these guys have said, just keep your community going during the product drought. Make sure this game doesn't get washed out. So, you can check us out at Marvel Champions Podcast. Just Google it and you'll find the site. And I don't memorize websites like I should. You can check me out on YouTube just at KennedyHawk. And check these guys out at Side Scheme too. So, be a part of the community. Keep it going.
Yeah, for sure. Tom, you got any last words?
Nothing. Just the Kennedy Hawk's my new best friend.
Mm-hmm.
He's my hero.
Well, thanks for joining us here.
Sorry, Scott.
Yep, sorry, Scott. You're done. Go play Star Wars Pog somewhere else. Banana Crapshoot, stay scheming, champions. And then I'm going to try this button. I don't know what this button does.
You have reached the life model decoy of Tony Stark. Please leave a message.
And that's it. We're done. That's it. That's how you do it.